profiles some of the top personal injury lawyers throughout the U.S. You submit your case details, and the closest attorney who accepts your claim type gets notified immediately, and then your Accident.com lawyer reaches out to you to discuss your case and schedule a free consultation. And you have within 2 years to take advantage. So find out what your claim is worth and get your free consultation today by going to accident.com/podcast and let them know we sent you. That's accident.com/podcast. Coming to you from the dining room table at East Barbary Lane, welcome to another MINIsode edition of Full Circle, the podcast. A weekly visit to our home where we squeeze a few headlines through our decidedly queer lens and see what happens. I am your host, Charles Tyson Jr. Martha Madrigal is being a busy lady out in the world being fabulous. So until we can get together again, which will be soon enough, you're here with me for another minisode. Welcome to the Full Circle table. Hey y'all. Yeah, so things are crazy around here. Martha's getting more and more popular, and our schedule is getting crazier and crazier. I picked up another job, and just finding time to be in the same room with Martha is challenging, not to mention in front of the mics. But we're going to make it happen, I promise. Martha celebrated her birthday, and we've been, celebrating that over the course of several days because, it's a momentous occasion and it should be spread out a little bit. I'm surprised that the banks were open. So we've been doing that, and I've been working and she's been working, but we're here. Or I'm here, and I'm queer, and I know you're used to it. So let's make this a hit it and quit it and jump into some good news, okay? Okay. So this first story made me giggle just a tiny bit. The headline reads, "School Board President Trolls Moms for Liberty by Getting Sworn In on a Stack of Banned Books." Ha. So incumbent Karen Smith was one of 5 Democrats who defeated Republican candidates endorsed by the national anti-LGBT group Moms for Liberty, which has been classified as a hate group. Just putting that out there. This was in last month's Central Bucks school board elections, which flipped the board from a 6-3 Republican majority to a 6-3 Democratic majority. Ha ha ha. And together, the 5 Democrats ran as the Neighbors United for School Board slate of candidates and opposed the previous Republican majority's book banning, anti-LGBTQA+ policies, and culture war politics. That's right. And Smith was sworn in for her 3rd term, and when she took her oath of office, she placed her hand on a stack of 6 books that have been challenged or banned in school districts across the country, rather than the Bible. 4 of the books centered on LGBTQ+ characters and themes. I'm loving this. She told the Inquirer, "I'm not particularly religious. The Bible doesn't hold significant meaning for me. And given everything that has occurred in the last couple of years, the banned books, they do mean something to me at this point." Alongside Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye, which I read, very good book, and Elie Wiesel's Night, also very good book, Smith was sworn in on copies of Lily and Duncan by Donna Gephardt, All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson, another fabulous book, Flamer by Mike Curato, and Beyond Magenta by Susan Cookland. Several of the books appeared on the list of sexually explicit titles distributed by the right-wing group Woke PA. Why would you call yourself Woke PA if you're a Never mind, I'm interjecting logic and shit. That was my bad. Several of the books appeared on a list of sexually explicit titles, as well as a list of 61 titles challenged under the previous board's July 2022 library policy. So Smith did this as, basically a ha-ha slap in the face to all of the incredibly short-sighted, small-minded people who think anything remotely queer or black should be banned. And she's actually read the books that she was sworn in on, which I love, and should be a requirement. If you're going to have an opinion on a book, you should have read it, or at least enough of it to have an opinion. These people look at the title and the book jacket and just sum it all up as woke and push for it to be banned. And it's laughable, or at least it would be if it weren't so disgusting and dangerous. So I love this story, and it just makes me smile. Here's another little something that I enjoy. Discord, the social chat bulletin board thingy thing application of which Full Circle does belong. Discord now explicitly bans misgendering and dead naming transgender people on the platform. Good. As certain other social media platforms are allowing for more and more heinous activity, we have places like Discord that have expanded their hateful conduct policy to explicitly include prohibitions against misgendering and dead naming in a policy update. Accompanying this policy update, Discord has also implemented a comprehensive warning system to enforce these guidelines effectively. The company explained, for example, you may not post, share, or engage in repeatedly using slurs to degrade and demean individuals or groups, and this includes dead naming or misgendering a transgender person. Discord came to popularity through the gamer community, which is one of the more toxic fan communities in existence. But Discord initially updated its internal hate speech policy in April of 2022, but went public with these changes this month as part of a regular review to improve transparency, according to a spokesperson who spoke with The Advocate. The update explicitly addresses behaviors considered violations of its hate speech policy, including targeted misgendering and dead naming of transgender individuals. Discord spokesperson said the platform is committed to the safety of all of its users. As part of our ongoing efforts to ensure Discord remains a safe and fun place for people to hang out with friends, we continually evaluate potential harms and update our policies. We often work with organizations and subject matter experts to ensure our policies accurately encompass a holistic view of how these issues manifest across the internet and society. Wow, go. And may others take your example, because, social media, it's like the wild, wild west, and folks just, have the freedom, or feel they have the freedom to say whatever they want to whoever they want without repercussions. And we need to show them that there's no such thing as no repercussions. So go ahead, Discord. You can check out our Discord, Full Circle the Podcast. I think you should, because we've already been a supportive environment for all of our listeners of all walks of life. So there. Yeah. Very cool. And this gave me some hope. This is from the Washington Blade. Ugandan Constitutional Court to consider challenge to Anti-Homosexuality Act. Hallelujah. Because as we've talked about on this show before, the anti-LGBTQ policies in Uganda are harsh, to say the very least. And as we've also said before, we have listeners in Uganda, and, we stand with them because it's hard out there to be in any way authentic in your sexuality and gender identity, because it's pretty much on site in Uganda. Activists in Uganda are optimistic that the queer community will get justice from the Constitutional Court hearing on a petition that challenges the country's Anti-Homosexuality Act. The law that President Yoweri Museveni signed in May has been called by many discriminatory, unconstitutional, and a violation of fundamental human rights, which is an understatement. Uganda Minority Shelters Consortium, a local group which supports and advocates for the rights of LGBTQ victims of violence and homelessness, noted the Anti-Homosexuality Act has created a, quote, climate of fear and persecution for queer Ugandans. UMSC coordinator John Gray said the situation has led to a spike in homophobic violence, discrimination, and the LGBTQ community's inability to access healthcare and other basic services due to fear. He said, "We believe the court should nullify this discriminatory law and pave the way for a more inclusive and equitable society for all Ugandans." The plaintiffs for the case include Uganda's Deputy High Commissioner to South Africa, university law professors, journalists, several advocacy groups, and they argue that the Anti-Homosexuality Act was hurriedly passed within 6 days instead of 45 days as Parliament's rules require, and that it was enacted without meaningful public consultation. This hearing is crucial for LGBTQ plus Ugandans as it provides a platform to expose the law's flaws and its detrimental impact on their lives, amplifies their voices to encourage dialogue about equality, tolerance, and acceptance, and it instills hope and empowers the queer individuals to fight for their rights and dignity, Gray stated. And his remarks come a day after the U.S. ambassador to Uganda, William Popp, defended the Biden-Harris administration's decision to impose sanctions against some Ugandan officials and announced plans to remove Kampala from Washington's duty-free trade program for sub-Saharan African countries over the anti-LGBTQ law. And this is wonderful because, anything from perceived homosexuality to what they refer to as aggressive homosexuality is punishable by imprisonment or death, and it's insane. So any steps that can be taken towards reversing these laws is very, very welcome. And I am so glad that there are boots on the ground to try and right the wrongs implemented by that government. So fabulous. So because this is going to be a hit it and quit it kind of situation, we're going to jump right to the part where Martha would say to me, "Do you have a 15-minute fave?" And I do. This one has been in the rotation for at least a year by now. It is by the one and only Michaela J., who some of us may remember as MJ Rodriguez, star of Pose and many other things. She was killing it in the production of the stage production of Little Shop that she was in last year, where she was Audrey, and that child can sing. And so this song has been poking its way into my day-to-day lately, and it's welcome because it's always a good song. It's a song that it's impossible to be in a bad mood while you listen to it. It is Michaela J. singing Something to Say. And it's fitting because, we always got something to say, and you should have something to say, and you should be able to say it and hopefully sound half as good as Michaela J. So we're going to go out to a little break with Something to Say by Michaela J. Be right back.
It's really got a hold on Let's see. No, I'm not ready to watch that yet. You know what? I'll just watch this again. Do you ever find yourself doom scrolling your streamer looking for something to watch, but just end up rewatching the same shows over and over again? Hi, I'm Dustin, and welcome to the Rewatch Recap, a show where guests and I rewatch every episode in a TV season or a classic TV movie to see if it holds up, and making fun of the parts that don't. So come on, rewatchers, let's revisit these shows together every Monday on the Rewatch Recap, wherever podcasts are played.
And I'm back. I'm back. We're back. You're back. We all back. All God's children are back. Anyway, I decided, and because I'm the only one here, I get to make this decision. I don't feel like doing a cavalcade. So I'm going to jump right into a little pop culture. We've been watching things and stuff and such and whatnot. I came across a documentary on Paramount Plus celebrating the 40th anniversary of Michael Jackson's Thriller album. And, we hear from Quincy Jones and people like Usher who've been influenced by that seminal album and various people who worked on the album. And it was very interesting hearing about the creative process and hearing some of the demos and, Michael's genius coming to fruition, solidifying him as, this dynamic solo artist and ultimately the best-selling artist and having the best-selling album of all times at that point. And it's a wonderful documentary. It's called Thriller 40. And I suggest you check it out if you're a fan of that album, because who isn't? It's everywhere. You can't go to a wedding, a birthday party, a barbecue without hearing something off that album. Usually PYT. And you can't go a Halloween without hearing Thriller. Like, it's just it's stitched into the fabric of our society, and it's part of the zeitgeist for 40 years, which is amazing. So check that out. I'm excited because Invincible season 2 is back, and I love that series. It's an animated series based on a graphic novel series of the same name, and it's about a kid named Mark whose father is one of the most powerful superheroes in the world, and then he gets his powers and he has his whole coming of age thing. That's season 1. Season 2 drops us right in the middle of where we left off, and it's everything that I love about the series. It's gritty and graphic and funny and well made, and it's a lot of fun. And it's deep. So, if you haven't seen Invincible, check it out. It's available on Prime Video. What else have I been watching? Oh, I started watching The Curse, which is a Showtime series, but also available on Paramount Plus. And it's an A24 series, which tells you pretty much what you need to know right there. I'm only a few episodes in, but basically it's like two of the worst people who think they're the best people. I'm talking about young white liberals who, they mean so well. They're so well-meaning, but, they want to be helpful to the brown folks. But then when it actually comes down to helping the brown folks, it becomes a problem. And a curse gets involved and weird things start happening and they start learning about themselves, and maybe they're not as nice as they think they are. It's kind of interesting. It's also kind of cringy because, these people really don't have any redeeming qualities regardless of how highly they think of themselves. It's interesting. And it's like whenever something bad happens to them, you don't want something bad to happen to them, but you don't feel bad because you kind of don't like them. So it all works out. So I've been watching that and it's been enjoyable. Season 2 of Rap Shit is back on HBO. I'm sorry, Max, whatever the hell it's going by. It's a series that Issa Rae executive produces, and Kid Fury of The Read is a writer and editor, story editor. It's funny. Like the first season was very much, it centers around the two main characters, Shauna and Mia, and them trying to get their rap career off the ground and learning about the music business and the shiny parts and the ugly parts, and also dealing with what's already going on in their lives. It's a funny show, and you know, it comes from the mind of Issa Rae, so of course it's funny. It's also like delightfully ratchet, which I didn't think I would enjoy, but it's quite enjoyable, and it's like settled deeply in social media culture as well. So it's an interesting take on, you know, how the world works in entertainment. And season 2 is, you know, the first season was really like dropping us into the superficial world that they occupy and are trying to pull themselves like out of while navigating it fully. And it took me an episode or two to get into it, but once I did, I really did. Season 2 is really about the characters. You know, they're more fleshed out and we know more about their lives. So it's a good series. I suggest you check it out if you're looking for something new to spend some time with. I recommend it. And of course, Ink Master has returned for a new season. We got Ryan Ashley as a judge again. We've got Nico. We've got DJ Tambi has returned as a judge this time, which makes sense because he's been every damn thing else on the show, and he's won the thing 3 times. So I think he's valid to be a judge. It's just nice to see new faces for a change, because, you know, they were recycling the hell out of folks on that show. But it's new artists, new art. The show's gotten harder. The challenges are mad difficult because, you know, it's been around so long, folks know what to expect, so they have to turn things on its head. And it's really interesting to watch each week, see what they pull out. I love Ink Master. I've been a fan since the beginning. So yeah, that's been it. We haven't had much time to really watch television. I'm excited I managed to squeeze that much into my life. Because like I said, we've been some busy bees, and I am not complaining. I am grateful. We like to be able to keep in touch with y'all because, you know, this relationship is very important to us. And so having said that, we're going to be back with you very soon, Martha and I, for another full episode, and I can't wait for that, and I'm sure you can't either. But in the meantime, here's some podcast business. If you haven't already, why don't you swing on by Apple Podcasts or Good Pods or wherever you enjoy our show and leave us a review or a rating or hit that subscribe button. 5 stars or more, please. Follow us on social at Full Circle the Pod on Instagram and Threads, at Full Circle the Podcast on TikTok. You can follow Martha at iMarthaMadrigal everywhere. Her writing can be found at IamMarthaMadrigal.wordpress.com. I am at NeverScared everywhere. Or you can just visit our linktree/Full Circle the Pod. If you have a story idea or some gossip or just want to say hi and tell us we're doing a great job, drop us a line at askfullcirclepod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. You could also consider supporting Full Circle the Podcast by becoming a patron at our Patreon, patreon.com/fullcirclethepod. Starting at just the $3 a month tier, you get access to all of our episodes ad-free and before everyone else. Then, starting at the $6 a month tier, you get access to our behind-the-scenes and bonus footage, and it only gets better from there. It's fun over at the Patreon. You can also check out our Discord channel, Full Circle the Podcast. Podcast business over! And now that that's out of the way, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me go on and on in this mini-sode version of Full Circle, the podcast. Once again, I am your host, Charles Tyson Jr. Martha sends her love, as do I, and we will be back with you very soon. Keep your eyes open and your heads up, y'all. We love you very much. Bye, everyone. Full Circle is a Never Scared Productions podcast, hosted by Charles Tyson Jr. and Martha Madrigal, produced and edited by Never Scared, executive produced by Charles Tyson Jr. and Martha Madrigal. Our theme and music is by the Jingleberries. All names, pictures, music, audio, and video clips are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective copyright holders.